Assalamualaikum, my YouTube family. I hope you all are fine and enjoying good health. So today we are going to work on the narrative writing, and today's topic is quite informative for you all because this topic seems like very easy. देखने में तो ये बहुत easy लगता है narrative writing, but when the students start writing that how to write a story, क्योंकि इसका of course दूसरा मतलब यही है कि story writing, how to create a narrative, develop a narrative. So uske liye we will be learning something very interesting today, and that is going to be the basic ingredients which we will learn. Then there are some attention catchers which we are going to learn today. Also we will be doing an activity of show don't tell, which is going to enhance your sentence structure to an upgrade level. And then the climax, of course, which is very important in a story. We will be also seeing the exam style question of O levels English. Right, so you are requested to please watch this video till the end. अगर आप लोग चाहते हैं वाकई कि आपकी narratives बहुत अच्छी हो जाएं, तो आज मिस वल्लशा का ये सेशन जरूर अटेंड कीजिएगा, and then we'll be giving you tips for proofreading. Okay, ji. So what are the basic ingredients of the narrative writing? There are three basic ingredients of narrative writing, and these are the characters, the conflict, and the plot, which is very, very important. These are the basic ingredients which we can't miss. Let's suppose अगर आप अपनी story में कोई characters नहीं डाल रहे हो, so without the characters, the story is going to be very, very boring, and it's going to, create monotonous in it. Also, अगर तो conflict नहीं है, because, conflict is something, it's not only कि, two people are fighting in the story, it is going to be something that there is a conflict between person versus person, person versus nature. There is going to be ongoing conflict in the mind of the people, two people, right? Two people, three people, or whatever, a group of people. So conflict is something, there's a you can say competition going on, the people are competing with each other. There is a there's a fight and something going on in the mind of two people. So we have to show that in our story to make it more interesting, right? Conflict is not only just the fight. It's not just the fight, but it's also going to be something apart from that, right? And plot, of course, that how the structure is going to be, the whole structure of the story, that what is the plot, where the story takes place, which includes all those setting characters and all these ingredients, right? Moving on to the next slide, and that is going to be the characters. Okay, let's discuss some key terms about the character types, and I'm going to show you them. So there are two major characters, and that is protagonist and antagonist. Protagonist तो हो गया ना simply हमारा hero story का, right? In other words, bear me with my handwriting, पता नहीं ये pen आज is not doing justice, वरना I was ready to write something better. Okay, and then it's antagonist. Antagonist is also the person who is the opposite of that hero, and that is going to be a villain. Or if there is a villain in a story, then of course it is going to upgrade your story. Then we have static characters. Sometimes कुछ ऐसे characters होते हैं जो बिल्कुल पूरी story में change ही नहीं होते. And then there is a dynamic character which changes significantly. ठीक है, कुछ important जगहों पे वो character change लेता है, switch लेता है, whether in nature, whether in any scene. So that character used to change, right? Then we have a round complicated characters. हमें कुछ ऐसे characters को introduce करवाना था अपनी story में which are round complicated और जिनके बहुत सारे sides होते हैं and emotions. Sometimes they are sad, they are happy, they are so quite selfish, they're acting selfish, and so this we have to show to make the story interesting. Then we have a flat character which demonstrates few traits, right? Moving on to the next slide, and that is going to be the conflict, the major part of the story which is going to enhance your story और ये आपकी story को बहुत upgrade करता है. So moving on to the next thing, and that is conflicts are problems in the story that the main character faces. Your characters don't have to fight, as I told you, with each other. There are lots of different types of conflicts, but there should be a conflict in your essay. Most readers find stories without conflicts to be boring. So these are the types of the conflicts which a person has to bear. Basically, the person versus person conflict, where the two people are in a conflict with each other. then there's a person versus self. When you yourself is in a fight, with your own mind, there's a battle going on in your own mind, in your own head. Somebody whom, you have lost, so close person of yours, and you are, extremely agitated, or maybe you're quite depressed and sad. So there's an ongoing conflict going on in your own mind, and you're fighting with your own self. And there's person versus society as well. Person versus nature, supernatural, something which, supernatural सारी वो चीजें हो गई, ghost वगैरह, something, beyond the world. और फिर उसके बाद technology का भी conflict है, right? We will read out in detail. Okay, so let's read out these conflicts. Person versus person की ये example है. This is the most, easiest example, where the central character clashes with another person. Then we have Jimmy and Eric compete for the same position on the baseball team. So it means that they're competing for the same position. It means that they both want to win. Also, there is person versus self, where Alexa caught her friend Jamie stealing from a classmate. Now Alexa must choose between keeping her friendship with Jamie and doing the right thing, right? So there's a self conflict going on. The main character battles with him or herself, where they have to choose what to do or what not to, right? So we are stuck in a situation of Macbeth. Right. Then we have this person versus society, where the main character challenges a law, tradition or institution. देखिए, अगर इस तरह के conflicts if you are mentioning, और आपको समझना होता है कि मैं अपनी story में कौन सा conflict create करूं, so then to upgrade this level of the story, right? Otherwise you cannot upgrade your stories if there is no conflict. Life में भी कोई conflict नहीं है, तो फिर life कैसे interesting हो सकती है? You will be, feeling bored. Okay, so Vanessa make an art project for testing police brutality. Her art teacher loves the project and tries to feature it in the town art show. Okay, but the county commission rejects the project. So ये तो society के साथ ही ना clear and cut conflict हो गया. Now Vanessa, her art teacher, are going to fight for the freedom of expression. Then we have person versus nature, where the person is fighting with the nature and fights to endure or overcome forces of nature, right? All right. So then we have, this person versus nature conflict, where the main character fights to endure or overcome forces of nature. And then stories with this type of conflict may occur in the wilderness often, but they can occur in urban settings too. For example, Alex and Scott are out at sea on a small fishing boat when a large storm hits. After their boat flips over and sinks during the storm, Alex and Scott struggle to make it back to the shore. Just when they think that things can get worse, they see a shark fin circling them, right? And it means the shark is like a person versus nature conflict going on. So this is where, where your story takes a turn, when the person is unable to come out of the situation. So you need to create such situations. All right. Then we have the conflicts of person versus supernatural, where the main character resists forces that are not of this world. जो कि इस world की है ही नहीं. Like suppose strange creatures, battle monsters, right? He or she may challenge beings with magical powers, all right, or may encounter hostile aliens. Okay, so you can even read the example, pause my video, take a look at the examples, and you can also embed such examples to make your narratives better. उसके बाद हमारे पास आ जाता है person versus technology. अगर तो आपको इस type के conflicts mention करने हैं अपनी stories, so you need to read out the examples which I have given down. Technology में ये भी हो सकता है कि somebody hacked your WhatsApp, your mobile phone, your whole phone. So you are, in a conflict with, person versus technology, that you're agitated and extremely, disturbed about this, how technology has sued me and you screwed me basically. So this is how is, conflicts going on to make your stories upgrade. Then there are attention catching techniques for narrative essays, and the most important attention catching technique is the dialogues. If you are not, mentioning the dialogues, it means that you are not creating a better effect. Dialogue is when characters speak in a story. इसमें आपको बोलवाना होता है कैरेक्टर्स को. द वॉइस ऑफ द कैरेक्टर्स आर डिस्टिंग्विश्ड फ्रॉम द वॉइस ऑफ द नरेटर. ठीक है, उससे वो डिफरेंट होती है. आप कोटेशन यूज करते, कोटेशन मार्क्स यूज करते, विच इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ओके, टू यूज. यूजिंग डायलॉग इज अ ग्रेट वे टू स्टार्ट ऑफ. इवन आप स्टार्टिंग में भी कर सकते हो. ये कैचिंग, एक कैची हुक हो सकता है आपके एस्से का, आपके नैरेटिव का. इट थ्रोज द रीडर राइट इनटू द एक्शन. एक एक्शन में आपके रीडर को डाल देता है. इफ यू बिगिन विद एन इंटरेस्टिंग और स्टार्टलिंग पीस ऑफ डायलॉग, यू विल हुक योर रीडर. लेट्स सपोज अगर आप कह रहे हो कि आई वोक अप अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग, आई वेंट टू द स्कूल, लेकिन उसकी जगह इफ यू सेड दैट गेट अप सैम, यू गोइंग टू बी लेट फॉर स्कूल, माय मदर वॉइस स्टार्टल्ड मी अवेक. ठीक है, अगर इस तरह से आपके एक्शन डाल दो, शोइंग कर दो rather than telling, so yeah, it can easily upgrade your level of the stories, right? Then we have onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia are basically, the sounds. These are the sound effects which you have to create in your stories. Okay. So onomatopoeia is when a word's pronunciation imitates its sound. And you have to create an onomatopoeic word to give a realistic effect. Boom, the thunder crack shook the lunch room. Because it kuch is type ki examples deke you can easily create a realistic effect in your story, right? उसके बाद आ जाती है हमारी स्टोरी की सेटिंग, विच इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. और सेटिंग को अगर हम लोग कुछ इस टाइप के सेंटेंसेस यूज करेंगे कि द सन पीक्ड ओवर द ग्रीन हिल्स ऑफ टाउन्सविले लाइक एन ईगर चाइल्ड, rather than saying that the sun rises in the morning and I felt very fresh. That's quite basic. If you are reaching towards grade 8, 9, 10, year 11, so you need to create this kind of effect in your story. This is an upgraded effect where your examiner is going to say wow to you and just a spur of the moment. Then you have, characters. We have already, studied it. You can pause the video and discuss and read it. Okay. Then there are some thoughtful or thematic statements. You have to begin your narrative essays with the strongly worded, thoughtful statements. भाई starting अच्छी करें, ending अच्छी करें, middle में conflict अच्छा डालें. I am sure that you guys are going to get very good marks in your narrative writing. Stories को अच्छा बनाएं, because narrative writing का question in O-levels English exam 25 marks का है. So if you want to achieve, like around 22, 24 marks, so you have to work on it. और पूरा साल अगर आप इस पे work करते हो, तो I think you can reach to a better level to create a better story. Example देखो, I never knew the power of a kind word until I heard one when I needed it most. ठीक है, तो आप ये नहीं कह सकते I should be very kind and we should show kindness. ये नहीं, ये wordings बिल्कुल, you have to just leave these kind of wordings behind. Then we have this flashback and flash forward technique. Flashback technique होती है जिसमें आप लोग बिल्कुल jump back चले जाते हो, ठीक है. और फ्लैश फॉरवर्ड टेक्निक होती है जिसमें आप बिल्कुल आगे ले जाते हो और उसके बाद यू जस्ट टेल द होल बैक ऑफ द स्टोरी. दिस इज आई एम गोइंग टू मेक अ होल वीडियो ऑन फ्लैशबैक एंड फ्लैश फॉरवर्ड टेक्निक. ये टेक्निक भी बहुत अच्छी होती है, लेकिन ये टेक्निकल होती है थोड़ी. इसमें आपको ध्यान रखना होता है कि स्टोरी शुड नॉट क्रिएट मेस इन योर, इट शुड नॉट क्रिएट मेस इन योर स्टोरी. आपकी स्टोरी का स्ट्रक्चर खराब ना हो. जो बच्चे बहुत प्रोफेशनल होते हैं फ्लैशबैक टेक्निक क्रिएट करने के, दे कैन डेफिनेटली डू इट. I'm going to make a proper video on it. कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आप moment of final suspense डाल के फिर उसके बाद you just move on towards the story. And then a final word, attention catchers, which are very, very important in your stories. Then climax. Climax के बगैर story बिल्कुल complete नहीं है. Do not begin writing your essay until you have thought of a turning point around which to structure your story. Okay. So good stories have turning points. Reader expect and enjoys these shifts in the momentum. Okay. So please just read this whole slide to get a better understanding, right? मूविंग ऑन टूवर्ड्स शोइंग एंड नॉट टेलिंग. अच्छा, इसका मैं आप लोगों को आज एक प्रॉपर वो दिखाने लगी हूँ. अब ये देखो, डोंट टेल और शो, ये एक बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट सा चीज है. इसमें मैं आपको बिल्कुल समझ लो कि बेसिक से मैं आपको लेकर जा रही हूँ. जिन बच्चों को ना बेसिक से नैरेटिव को अपनी इंप्रूव करना है ना, सो इन सेंटेंसेस पे वर्क कर लो. ये देखो, आपका सेंटेंस आ गया टेलिंग का. टेलिंग आ गया, टॉम डिडंट वांट टू गो टू स्कूल टुडे. ये वाले सेंटेंसेस तो यू हैव टू क्रॉस आउट फ्रॉम योर लाइफ टोटली. आपने शोइंग वाले करने हैं. दिस इज गोइंग टू मेक यू विन, गाइस. Tom threw his books into his bag, crumpling his half-complete homework. He sighed. फिर again अगली एग्जांपल आ गई टेलिंग की. Mike didn't want to go find the lost puppy. Showing आ गई. This is also not acceptable. This is acceptable. Showing. When Mike's mother asked him to find the lost puppy, Mike groaned. Do I have to, mom? कुछ ऐसे टाइप ऑफ सेंटेंसेस अगर आप डाल देंगे अपने नैरेटिव्स में, तो wouldn't it upgrading the level of your narrative writing. तो मैं चाह रही हूँ कि टेलिंग को छोड़ दो. जस्ट स्टॉप टेलिंग द स्टोरी, जस्ट क्रिएट शोइंग. देखो, जैसा आप उस सिचुएशन में फील करते हो, जैसा आप एक्चुअली एक्शन करते हो, जैसा आप शो कर रहे होते हो, वही चीज आप उसमें अपने आप को ड्राउन करो कि ओके फाइन, अगर मैं इस सिचुएशन में था मैं ये करता, तो वो चीज शोइंग में ले आओ. राइट. रीडिंग, अब ये देखो, इसको हम एक और देते हैं एग्जांपल. रीडिंग वाज जेज फेवरेट क्लास. अब रीडिंग हमारी फेवरेट क्लास है, बहुत बेसिक सेंटेंस है. शोइंग में लेकर आओ. Jay waited the whole day to go to reading class and he always smiled when he got there. Or he felt over the moon when he, stepped inside the class. कुछ इस type के sentences, can make you win. अब ये 10 sentences हैं आप लोगों के लिए task है. You can also, transform these sentences into a better ones. But I can also show you कि कैसे करना है इसको. I was really mad. मतलब मैं बहुत angry थी. ठीक है तो इसको कैसे करना. I clenched my fists and gritted my teeth, my face burning with anger. आपने ये नहीं डालना I was really mad. You have to upgrade this sentence into this one. फिर आ गया instead of saying she was tired from having stayed up late, इसकी जगह you have to write dark circles in her eyes and a sluggish face revealed her night vigil, right? फिर उसके बाद अगर आप कह रहे हो कि Alex wasn't paying attention to teacher, इसकी जगह Alex gaze drifted out the window, his pencil idle on his desk. कि मतलब वो पढ़ ही नहीं रहा था, उसकी पेंसिल फारग पड़ी हुई थी डेस्क पे और उसकी आंखें जो थी वो ही वाज लुकिंग आउटसाइड द विंडो. तो ये होता है शोइंग rather than telling. You have to show. Read out all these sentences, my dear friends and my dear YouTubers. इनको पढ़ो, इनको read out करो, write them, and I'm going to bring more sentences for you guys ताकि आपकी sentence structure transform हो to the better one. To make your stories better, you need to show instead of tell. Getting what I'm saying? I hope this was very useful for you. Please इसको comments में mention कीजिएगा if you want more stuff like that. And I have already shared some vivid word choice handout for you guys. This is like, a great thing for you guys. Extensively words तो हमें must डालने होते हैं story में. So I've already shared with this stuff with you guys. इनकी screenshots लो, enjoy करो because stories आपकी बहुत अच्छी होने वाली हैं, I'm sure. And, I have a story here for you guys. अब इसमें आप लोग identify कर सकते हैं elements from the story on the given story mountain. I'm going to show you the story mountain. इसमें से आप करो, इसको practice करें, story mountain करें और इसकी story को भी देखें. But this story was the very easy one which I wrote for you guys, but you can have a reading and you can get an idea. And then again those conflicts, we're not going to read that. And of course the theme भी बहुत important part story का. Theme is the message revealed in this story. होना चाहिए, must होना चाहिए, इसको mind में रखना होता है. This is also one of the elements of narrative writing, and there can be more than one theme for a narrative as well. It may indirect, leaving the reader to decide the story's message. It may be directly stated like a fable where the moral is told at the conclusion, right? So different points of view आ जाते हैं. फिर के first person point of view है I as a narrator. Good for personal accounts. Okay, for example, I will never forget the day that my hamster died, right? So ये चीजें आपको I as a narrator, first person point of view से story लिख रहे हो, you should know that. Then if you are writing with a third person point of view, you have to use these kind of pronouns he, she, it, and they perspective, written as if the story is observed from outside of the characters. ठीक है कि कुछ और दूसरे characters are engrossed in your stories, they are involved in your stories, and they are presenting their perspective, right? So for example, he pounded his fist against the wall and screamed, "Let me out, let me go out." Okay, so ये different point of views हैं which are very important. Then third person point of view omniscient हो जाएगा जिसमें he, she, it और their perspective आ जाता है. फिर narrator can write about the thoughts and feelings of all the character. Example, she called him a liar though she knew he was telling the truth. ठीक है कि मतलब ये चीजें कि perspective बताना अपना साथी कि वो उसको लायर तो बोल रही थी लेकिन इसको पता था कि he was telling the truth. And then this WH question method which is very important in the narratives, जो हमें अपनी stories में करना ही चाहिए है. Also this is what imagery is, and I've already shared the imagery vocabulary using the 5 senses. I told you sensory vocabulary is already shared with you guys. So this is the exam question, my dear students, which you need to see. 25 marks का question है. as ये तो descriptive हो गया ना. Narrative का write a story in which something unexpected happens at an important school event. If you are going to focus on the things which I told you and you're going to write this narrative according to that, you are going to ace in your exams. All right, you will definitely ace in your exams. You're going to get a star in your exams if after watching this whole video and focusing on the details I told you. फिर आ जाती write a story that includes the sentence, when I saw the photograph the memories came rushing back. इसमें आप flashback technique डाल सकते हो. ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन मांग रहा है कि फ्लैशबैक टेक्निक डालो उसमें. ओके, so you guys have to attempt all these two questions. You can also share these questions through my email id and also on my WhatsApp, so please just stay connected with me, and I hope you loved watching today's video. Stay tuned for more useful content, and also stay tuned with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends to get a better content. And remember that you can easily approach me to, through commenting. So take care. Allah Hafiz, signing off. Bye bye.